Welcome back to another video, guys. Today I'm going to talk about how you can start building your own brand. And I mentioned it in my previous videos. The most important thing about brand is A, understanding who your audience is and who you're targeting, and B, having consistency. So in today's video, I'm going to go through 11 things, a checklist that you can use right now to see where you are in your brand building phase and what are the parts that you need to improve. So the first thing, and this is the most important, is do you understand your ideal audience? And your ideal audience, or even your audience, that is really who are the people that you want to attract? Who are the people that you want to be your customers, that you want to work with, that you want to get in front of? Who are these people? And what do you know about them, right? You can't make it up. You need to do research. You can't just assume, my target audience are yoga teachers. However, it could also be people who meditate. It could be people who want to relax after work, who are stressed at work, right? You really need to understand your target audience. So if you cannot describe your target audience in a few sentences, and if you cannot write a page of their diary and literally get in their brains, that is the first mistake that you're making, is that you don't know how to build a brand because you don't know who you're building a brand for. You don't know who you're trying to attract. So that's very important that is the first thing that you have handled. Number 2, what messaging do you have across your social channels, right? And when I say messaging, that is, what do you offer? What are you saying time and time again? And if I ask you, do you know what it is that you offer? That, if you can answer that, perfect. But then the second thing with your brand audit right here is that message clear across all your platforms? At any point when people are coming to find you, do they know what you are doing? Does your Facebook say you're a yoga teacher, but then your YouTube says that you are a surf instructor, and then on your email list you tell them that you're a math teacher? Like, what do? You can't just say that you do everything, because no one knows what you do and what you specialize in, and that's when you can't niche or target anybody at all. And then another thing that comes with brand is, do you have color palettes? It's very important that you have a set group of colors that you use all the time, because once again, this comes back to the consistency model. You need to look the same everywhere you are, online or offline, so people really resonate with you and remember you. And a color palette, normally there's about 4 or 6 colors. There's one primary and a secondary, and then you have these accent colors that you use. And these colors need to resonate with your audience. You cannot just pick your favorite colors and put them on your brand and expect something to work. These colors that you pick need to make sense and attract your ideal audience, right? If you've ever heard about the term color psychology, it basically talks about how certain colors convey certain feelings and emotions. And if you want to build trust, you want to pick a certain color. Normally that might be a purple or blue. If you want to convey wealth, or you want to convey the earth, you want to use the color green. So you need to really think about the decision making behind picking colors before you pick colors. So when it comes to your brand, do you know what your colors are? If you don't, go and figure that out. It's so crucial that you have it and you're consistent. And then a bit more on the design side is, are you consistent with your fonts and the typography that you have? Do you have any of that set in place? Once again, you do not want to have 10 different fonts because it's confusing. Different fonts also convey different meanings. You have serif fonts, you have sans serif fonts, right? Certain types of font will look more modern, other ones will look more grungy, other ones look more trustworthy, other ones look more feminine. And you need to have a maximum of 2 or 3 fonts that you use to convey your brand, so that people consistently know, oh, that is this product. For example, if you use Instagram a lot, you know that there's like that Instagram font that everyone refers to when it comes to creating content. They'll say, oh, use the Instagram font, right? And it's because it's very iconic, and you remember that. There's a bit of thought behind the way you pick fonts as well. It should be legible. It should be convenient. It should be versatile, because you'll need it across platforms and you'll use it in different places. So a lot of things to think about for your fonts. Number 5, This goes back to consistency again. What is the bio that you have in your Instagram, on your Facebook, on your LinkedIn, or any social profiles? Make sure it is the same. Go and do a full audit of any social platform that you are showing yourself to your clients and make sure your messaging is the same. Like, if you walk dogs, tell everybody you are a dog walker on every single one of your platforms. If you are in cryptocurrency, tell everybody that that is what you do. Don't put something different. You might be saying, oh, I need to A/B test it, but it can get a little bit confusing and it breaks the image of what it is that you do. And if you are a big business that is very successful, it's okay to play around with these, but I'm assuming that most of you are watching this because you don't really understand branding and you might just be getting started. So in the beginning, it's very important that you have a very cohesive image and that there are no breakpoints that might cause your buyer or potential buyer to have doubt because they're confused by what you do. So if you can avoid it, look through everything, audit all your social platforms, and make sure that the descriptions and the stuff that you're saying there about yourself are consistent, and make it convey the value and the offer and what it is that you actually do to serve your clients best. Number 6, do you have a website? And it's okay if you don't have one yet, because depending on the size of your business, you might not even need one. But if you do have a website, does that also convey your brand messaging? Is the messaging there clear? Is the fonts up? Is the fonts and the colors matching everything else you have? Is the content on your website even the same as what you are offering right now? I have seen so many coaches do this. They have an extremely outdated website that has nothing to do with what they have right now. And yet when people ask them, oh, what is it that you do? They're going to Google you and then they're going to go find your website and they're going to say, you told me you were an NLP coach, but why does your website say you're a yoga teacher, right? And that's confusing. People don't want to buy from that. So if you have a website, make sure your website is up to date and says what you are currently doing and not what you were doing 10 years ago. And if you have photos from you 10 years ago that are completely irrelevant to what you do now, please get rid of those. That does not do you any good except for confuse your buyer again. Number 7, what 4 words can you use to describe your brand? This is a really good test of if you understand your own brand. If you can break it down into 4 keywords to describe, like if your brand was a person and it had a personality, how would you describe it? I would say my personal brand is, it is fun, it is modern, it's educational, and it's authentic. And it's bold. Like, I have so many words to describe it, but like, if you cannot describe your own brand and if the words that you use doesn't match the image it conveys, that's already a disconnect. So identify what words you would like to define your brand with and make sure that all of the imagery related to your brand, everything that you put out in the world, match these 4 words. Because if there is a mismatch, that is not what people are seeing in the world, right? Does that make sense? And then number 8, this goes back to a bit of the audience, like what does your ideal client look like? And I guess the better question to ask is, who do you want to work with? In the past, I've defined an ideal client based on somebody that will give me the most amount of money. But that doesn't necessarily mean that there's someone that you want to work with. And if you want to have a brand and a business that lasts long term, you have to also think about yourself and what you're looking for. So I've changed the definition of an ideal customer avatar a little bit by also adding in the idea of who is the person that you would love to work with the most? Who is somebody that you would actually want to spend time with, get to know, call your friend, and learn from and learn with and grow together with, right? That could be the idea of your customer avatar, because that would be so much more fun than just, some guy that's just going to pay me a lot of money. I don't know about you, but money is not the biggest motivator for me. It is fulfillment, and it is being able to serve people and help people. So for me, like, my ideal client is someone that I can learn from and grow with as well. And somebody who has a vision to genuinely do something good in the world and change people's lives. Like, I honestly hate people that sell products that don't do shit. I have such a high standard of quality that it bothers me when people create courses and they brand themselves as a coach or a teacher and they have nothing to show for it and their content is absolute shit. So I only want to work with people who are good at what they do and want to help other people, right? So be very, very clear about who you want to work with. And the reason why that's important is because the people you work with are an extension of your brand. I hope that makes sense. It's like the people that you touch and help, they also say something about you and your business. So if you work with really sketchy, scammy people, what do you think that says about you and your brand? That doesn't say anything good. So you want to work with clients that are great people that make you look good. That's what's so great about it. When they grow, you grow. Their wins are your wins. And that is the best way to grow your business, is to work with other great people. Number 9. Can you describe your business in 2 sentences? If I was to find you on the street and ask you, hey, what do? You better be able to tell me in less than 20 seconds and not have it, I kind of do a little bit of everything, because that doesn't mean anything to me if you cannot define that. Very, very, very important for your brand clarity and for you to understand who you're serving and what you're doing is that you should be able to answer this question. If someone was to corner you in an elevator and they asked you, hey, what do? You should be able to speak so confidently and say it. You should be like, oh, my name is Charlotte and I'm a brand strategist and I help people scale their businesses with systems and process, right? You need to just be able to say it. Boom. You can't be like, oh, hi, I'm Charlotte and I just kind of like help people like build stuff. If they have a business, I might build their website. I talk about brand. You see like the difference between that? Like there's no confidence. Why would they believe in you? You don't even know what you're doing. Why would they want to work with you if you don't even know what you're doing, right? So this one is also very, very important. I just want to clarify that these were not in any specific order, and I should have moved this up the list because that's very important. But anyways, moving on to number 10. How are you different from other competitors? And this is what makes you stand out. And this is your unique selling proposition. Unique selling proposition is basically what makes you unique and why do people want to work with you instead of other people. You should be able to answer this. So when someone asks you, a potential customer might say, what makes you different? Why should I pick you? The other guy's charging 5K, you're charging 10K. You need to be able to answer this question. So please, 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 please do your research. What makes you different from competitors? And really, really know that, because it'll be very awkward if someone says, Sam does that, I don't need you, and he's cheaper than you, and I like him more. You already lost that sale. And that's why research is so important here, is so that anytime people ask you these types of questions, you rapid fire, top of your mind, already know how to answer it. Be confident in your answer. And the confidence, the energy of your confidence will go right into your client and they'll feel it and they'll say, I believe that you know what you're doing and I want to work with you. And number 11, this is a bonus one and I think it's very, very important. It is, what words or phrases do your clients say about you or describe you with? And if you don't have any clients, maybe even ask your friends. And the reason I ask this is because a lot of us get caught up in our own heads that we think it is one way, but then in reality, it is perceived as another way. So this is a way of doing a reality check, of asking people, hey, what do I appear like to you? Or, hey, what do you think my business does? And their answer is probably much more of a realistic impression of what the world is seeing as opposed to what you think it is, right? So the task here and the way that you would do this is you can message 10 of your friends and ask them, or clients, past clients, and say, hi, I just want to get some feedback. I'm working on building up my brand. I'm working on building up my business. And I want to ask you, like, what are the 3 words that you would describe me best with? Like, what do I do best? Or what can you describe my business in 3 words? What do you think it does? Right? And then take note of what everyone says and see if it matches the image that you're trying to portray, or see if that matches what you think that you want to be seen as. And if that doesn't match, that is telling you there is a misalignment in your brand and your offer and your business. And that is why there's a gap between where you are now and where you want to be. Right? A lot of us get caught up in our own heads and we think, oh, I'm so smart, I'm so successful, people see me as this. And then you go and talk to somebody and they say, nah, you're not confident, you're just fucking annoying. And that's not very fun to hear. So number 11 is a bonus one for you to go in and check in with people and see if you think you are appearing the way you want to be appearing, or if your business is as clear as you think it is. So this checklist is a bit of a way for you to understand where you are in your business and your brand right now and where you actually need to improve on. If for all of these questions, all 11 of these questions, if you couldn't answer all of them, or you are not happy with your answer, that is room for improvement. And that is probably one of the biggest reasons for why you are not attracting the right clients or your business is not growing. And it's because you don't have clarity on any of these things here. And the good thing is, it's very easy to find clarity as long as you put in the time and do the research. To help with the research process, I've actually created a handout that you can download in the link below in the description. It is actually my client conversion blueprint. And if you are having a lot of trouble identifying your ideal customer avatar and putting together your first offer, that is something that you can use right now to help you work through that. As well, I will be releasing another 27 days of content all related to this and helping you get your business off the ground and helping you solidify your brand. Stick around, keep watching these videos, subscribe to my videos, and if you found this helpful and you know somebody that needs help with this, feel free to share it. I would love to see and hear what you have done with this video. Leave a comment below and I will see you in the next one.